Welcome to Money Music, where you will learn about the big money in your vinyl records. I'm John Marshall, also known as Mighty John, the record guy from MoneyMusic.com. With me is the man who knows so many of the rock and roll stars. They don't like him, but he knows them. My friend, legendary lawyer, if you ever get in trouble, Derry Rundlett.
Well, thank you for that introduction. I hope at least some of them like me a little bit.
Have you? How many takes did it take for you to pass the bar?
I'm lucky to say just one. I didn't pass it by too much, but I did pass it.
I've never seen you pass a bar down on the old port.
That's right. I go by every one of those and go in. That's true.
Now, at the end of the show, we will tell you how you can get the values for every Elvis, every Beatles record absolutely free. No purchase necessary. Over 2,000 Elvis and Beatles records are on the list. I counted them this morning just to make sure there were over 2,000. Now, this podcast, not just for record collectors, we love the record collectors, but for everyone who seeks out treasures at yard sales, flea markets, estate sales, and thrift stores. Plus, at the end of today's countdown, we're going to tell you how you can get free record appraisals, and we'll answer an email from one of our listeners. On today's countdown of 20 records worth up to $100 or more, number one on our list is a Jan and Dean album that can sell for $2,000.
Oh, my God. And I mentioned earlier in one of our podcasts that I'm very good friends with Dean Torrance. I'm so proud to hear that. And I'm going to email him today and tell him we discussed the song. But go ahead.
Yeah, and you might ask yourself, is that the ghost of Jan on the cover?
Oh, no way. What is it?
You're going to have to wait till the end of the countdown.
Okay, yeah. That's your opening. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. So that's the big one for today. Okay.
Yeah, is that the ghost?
All the
of
more
Jan?
reason to write to Dean. Go ahead.
Okay. Who was the lead singer for the Dovells on the Bristol Stomp?
Boy, no clue.
I thought you knew him, Len Berry.
Oh, I've heard that name, but I wouldn't. Is he the one that did 1, 2, 3 also?
Yes.
Okay, Len Berry. I know him from that song. I didn't know he was the lead singer with the Dovells.
Now, the Bristol Stomp referred to the dance, of course, as was done at record hops in Bristol,
Connecticut.
No.
Where?
Pennsylvania.
No way.
Well, you got to figure American Bandstand right nearby.
Oh, how stupid of me. I thought it was Bristol, Connecticut.
The lyrics are still familiar to anyone who had a transistor radio back in the day. The kids in Bristol are sharp as pistols.
Bristol
Stomp. But Derry isn't that sharp.
Yeah, but I did have a transistor radio. I used to love it.
The 45, worth up to $20. The Bristol Stomp album released on Parkway Records, Chubby Checker's label, now worth up to $100.
Get out of here.
Now, I can't prove this story, but I've heard it several times.
Go ahead.
The Beatles were signed to Swan Records to do She Loves You.
Yes.
And they first promised the song to the Dovells.
Really?
And they said, you know what, we're going to let the Beatles do it, but we're going to give you another song to make up for it. And that was the Bristol Stomp.
No way.
That's what I heard.
That's
I can't
a good
confirm
story.
it. I can't confirm it, but, rumors fly.
Well, but no, sometimes rumors have a great deal of truth to them. So that sounds like a really good story for the Dovells.
Now, I know you're stuck to your TV set quite frequently.
I am, yes.
Watching old TV shows from the golden age of television.
Yes, I'm pretty addicted on those, yeah.
What 1950s hit mentions the detectives Sherlock Holmes, Sam Spade, Sergeant Friday, Charlie Chan, and Boston Blackie?
The Coasters.
Yes.
Yes. Searching.
Yes, there you go, Derry. You're cooking.
Met the Coasters, and a nice bunch of guys. No originals in them now, but the manager of the Coasters is the wife of an original, and they still sound fantastic. Every hit they did was a 10.
The string of hits by the Coasters seemed endless back then. Yakety Yak, Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Along Came Derry. Along Came Jones.
Kim Jones. I love that one, too.
Most of their hits were written by famed songwriting team Lieber and Stoller.
Yes.
Their first album, The Coasters, released on Atco Records, worth up to $100 today, as is that 45, Searchin'.
Searching, and what a great hit. And, of course, Poison Ivy. God, was that a great song.
Yep. Who was the inspiration for Madonna's big hit, Material Girl?
Oh, my God. No clue.
Oh, yes, you do.
I do? No? Go ahead.
If you ever saw the video of Material Girl, you'd recognize it from a famous scene in a movie.
Go ahead.
In the early 1950s, the movie musical was in its heyday. Among the most successful and enduring was Gentlemen Prefer Blondes.
Yes.
Starring two of Hollywood's most famous sex symbols, Mighty John and Derry Rundlett. No,
Marilyn Monroe and Jane Russell.
Yeah, very good. Marilyn Monroe's rendition of Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend.
Classic.
Was the inspiration for Madonna's Material Girl.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, my God. And I love Madonna, to have seen her a couple of times. She is a piece of work.
Gentlemen prefer blondes. The soundtrack worth up to $100 today. Who was the New York DJ who was given credit for writing Splish Splash by Bobby Darin?
Boy, I certainly know the song, but I don't know the DJ.
Really?
I don't think so.
It was DJ Murray the K.
Oh, Murray the K, yes. Well, yeah, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think so, as an announcer.
He wrote Splish Splash, co-wrote it, one of Bobby Darin's biggest hit. Credit was given to Gene Murray as to avoid any hint of payola.
Yes, that's right. Sure, payola was huge. It brought Alan Freed down.
Yes. Splish Splash hit number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 in well, it wasn't the Hot 100 then, but in 1958.
That's right.
It was on Billboard. The original 45, worth no more than $25. However, on a 78, Splish Splash could get you $125 today.
Yeah, and Bobby Darin, wasn't he a piece of work?
There I go. The fans, they just keep on calling. I told you, wait till I get off the air. Okay. What rock and roll legend died on stage while singing one of his biggest hits?
Oh, my goodness. I want to know the minute you tell me, but I don't have it. What is it?
Jackie Wilson.
Oh, my God. Really?
Jackie Wilson was
Jackie Wilson passed away singing one of his hits?
Well, hear me out.
Yeah.
Jackie Wilson was the true rock and roll great who influenced superstars from Elvis to Michael Jackson. While singing the lyric, "My Heart is Crying" from his classic Lonely Teardrops.
Crying, lonely. Oh, my God, that's such a great song.
While singing that lyric at a Dick Clark review in 1975, he had a heart attack and never recovered.
Oh, my goodness. A wonderful man. By the way, his son, Bobby Wilson, is on the Malt Shop Cruise almost every year or every other year. He sings like Jackie Wilson. He acts like Jackie Wilson. And he was up for Male Artist of the Year 3 years ago. And that award was actually won by my very dear friend, Bob Kulick of The Happenings, formerly of The Happenings.
Yes.
But Bobby Wilson, he's worth going to see. He's like, you might as well be watching Jackie Wilson.
Jackie was a classic. Now, when Elvis learned of his heart attack, he immediately sent a check to cover Jackie's medical expenses.
No kidding.
Yes.
People, you have to know that Elvis, as portrayed in the movie, was a wonderful man when he was younger, and his career was basically managed by a man that turned Elvis into something different than what he was when he became famous. But he would do acts like that all the time. He was a very thoughtful man.
Well, at the concert, the audience and fellow performers thought that when Jackie fell, it was part of the act.
Yes, they would.
However, the act was over for Jackie Wilson. The original 45 of Lonely Teardrops, up to $50. The album can get you $125 today.
I'm surprised it's not worth more.
Derry, this is kind of a trick question.
Okay, I'm ready.
If you don't get this right, you have to wash my car every week for a month.
Well, you already owe me 2 months, so
Wait.
Yeah.
What was the Everly Brothers' biggest hit on the Billboard Hot 100?
Cathy's Clown.
Yes! I'm surprised you knew that. I thought you'd say all I have to do is dream, wake up little Susie.
No, because, of course, I've met the Everly Brothers and became very dear friends with Don Everly's son. Eden Everly went out to Vegas to spend 3 days with him and Frankie Avalon. I love to drop that one because Eden Everly sounds like Don, looks like Don. And then, of course, his son, like Phil's son, Jason, is on the XM radio doing the same thing, remembering their respective fathers.
Released in 1960, a black vinyl copy of Cathy's Clown is worth no more than $20, but a gold vinyl copy could get you $150, add up to another $50 for the picture sleeve.
You know, Marty, I also believe, I'm pretty sure that was their only #1 hit, and I'm going to check that out in my famous Bible, the top 40, but I think that Cathy's Clown was their only hit. Go ahead, buddy.
All right. Well, it might be. I mean, again, it was the only one on the Billboard Hot 100. They had Bird Dog and All I Have to Do Is Dream and Wake Up Little Susie prior to Billboard becoming the Hot 100.
You know, one of my favorites about them is That's Old Fashioned. I love
That's good song.
Yeah.
That was on Warner Brothers. Now, how many Glenn Campbell hits can you name?
Oh, I can name a lot. By the time I get to Phoenix, Wichita Lineman, Rhinestone Cowboy, there's 3 right off the bat.
Well, Gentle on My Mind was another.
Oh, Gentle on My Mind, a piece of
mentioned.
work. Oh, yeah, that is a wonderful song.
But in many cases, it's the lesser-known records by well-known recording artists that are worth more money. In 1958, Seneca Records released Dreams for Sale by Glenn Campbell. A copy can get you $200 today. Who is the lady, Derry, who introduced You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog to an unsuspecting world 3 years before Elvis?
That would be, tip of the tongue. Go ahead.
Big
Mama Thornton.
There you go.
There you go. Okay. Thank you for giving me the hint.
Okay. Elvis's 1956 version released on RCA worth up to $150 with its picture sleeve. However, the 1953 release on Peacock Records by Willie Mae, Big Mama Thornton, can get you $300 today. Name a recording artist who is in both the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Country Music Hall of Fame.
How about this, Brenda Lee?
Name another.
By the way, she's also in the Rockabilly Hall of Fame, the only person to be in all three, and the only woman to be in both of them. Go ahead.
Well, it's a male artist.
Male artist. And, I'm going to do the Everly Brothers.
No. I had my
Elvis.
picture taken with this guy in the bathroom at the Bangor Auditorium. Johnny Cash.
Oh, my God. I'll tell you. Did you like him when you met him?
Yes, I did. He was very nice.
Very, I'll tell you.
Down to earth, treated you like you were one of the boys.
I'll tell you, I love to hear that about him. I've been to his museum. I have seen the men that played him in $1 Million Quartet and told him, I said, you must have gone to his museum because you've channeled him. He was an incredibly talented man. And by the way, one of his best roles ever on television was as the murderer in Columbo. Yeah, sets up a fake plane crash, and he was fantastic in that role. People have no idea that Johnny Cash was so talented. And I just watched Joaquin Phoenix in The Joker, and Joaquin Phoenix did a great job playing Johnny Cash.
He
Go ahead.
certainly did. Now,
thank you for that.
Johnny Cash's first album was called Johnny Cash with His Hot and Blue Guitar, containing two of his first hits, I Walk the Line and Folsom Prison Blues. Each can fetch $50. Released on Sun Records 1956, the album is worth up to $400 today.
Worth every penny. And by the way, I just checked with the Everly Brothers. They did have a number one with Wake Up Little Susie, Bird Dog, believe it or not, and their third number one was Kathy's Clown. But I think Kathy's Clown was the biggest hit of all. There we go.
She was only 30 years old when she died, a superstar.
Patsy Cline.
Very good. You were on a roll today,
yeah, I
Derry.
am today. I seem to be sharper today than I was the other day.
Good. Okay. Now, the 1962 album Sentimentally Yours by Patsy Cline contained one of her biggest hits, She's Got You.
Oh, yes. Great hit.
Single, now worth up to $25. The album would be her last. A year later, at the age of 30, she would lose her life in a small plane crash.
That's correct.
A mono copy of the album Sentimentally Yours is worth up to $200. A stereo copy can get you $400 today. Besides 16 Candles, can you name two other hits by the Crests?
Yes. They Say You're Getting Married. This time it is for sure. And then the other one, I just heard it the other day. Go ahead.
They say they're getting married this time for sure?
Yeah, whatever that is.
Okay. Well, you could have chosen Trouble in Paradise.
No.
The Angels Listened In.
Yeah, I thought of that one.
Yeah.
No. And what's the other one? It was just a big one.
Isn't It Amazing?
No.
Well, I don't know what that means.
I'll have to look them up.
But it all began with 16 Candles. Went all the way to number 2 in 1959. Released on Co-Ed Records. 45 now worth no more than $20. But on a 78, 16 Candles get you $400 today. In the doo-wop hit by the Cadillacs, we are introduced to Speedo. But what was Speedo's real name?
Mr. Earl.
Very good. Derry,
Hey,
I am so proud of you today. I'll actually walk with you down the street and not try and get ahead of you or behind you.
Okay, and by the way, the Crest song was Step by Step.
Step by step.
Step by Step. Go ahead.
All right. Now, they often call me Speedo, but my real name is Mr. Earl.
Good song, too.
describes Earl Carroll, lead singer of the Cadillacs, which is one of rock and roll's greatest doo-wop groups.
Oh, I always wondered who Mr. Earl was when he said that.
Yeah.
That was pretty strange.
Their big hit Speedo, worth up to $75 today, is on their album The Fabulous Cadillacs. Now, if you have or find a copy of the album Fabulous Cadillacs on Jubilee Records, and the record label is black, worth up to $200. But if the record label is blue, the value jumps up to $500. And all those little versions and idiosyncrasies are pointed out where, Derry?
In your website.
You get it on my website, my record appraisal guide, listing the values for over 1 million records. And I counted those just the other weekend.
Wait a second.
What?
That's the first time I've ever heard that number come out of your mouth.
Yeah, we list over 1 million values. So,
listen.
Over 75,000 different recording artists are listed.
I've been bragging about you and your knowledge, but I had no idea if someone had, how many records you think you know? I'd go, I don't know, 50 grand, 80 grand, whatever. That is just unbelievable.
Well, thank you. Now,
it's no wonder people. We have so many listeners on this podcast.
Now, in the past, we have mentioned a few people who were kind of connected politically. We mentioned that Charles Dawes wrote "It's All in the Game."
Yes, that's right. He was the vice president to Calvin Coolidge.
Yes, we mentioned that Maureen Reagan was in Kissin' Cousins with Elvis.
Oh, that's right.
Now, what former presidential candidate was on an album with his group, the Electors?
Oh, my God. Bill Clinton.
Kind of close.
What? Don't know.
Presidential candidate, former Secretary of State.
Oh, Muskie. No, I don't know.
Perhaps one of the unlikeliest people to have a collectible record is John Kerry.
No way.
A U.S. Secretary of State and former
Yes.
senator from Massachusetts and one-time presidential nominee.
That's right.
His band, the Electors, released a self-titled instrumental album in 1962. Kerry played bass. While he was running for president, the album was worth up to $1,000. After he lost, it went down to $500.
No way. No way. Is that right?
That's true.
That is a fun story because I did know his running mate, John Edwards, Senator John Edwards. I did know him.
Yep. So look for the Electors by John Kerry, and the band is called the Electors, and that's the title of the album. In what year did the world first hear the lyrics "Shake, Rattle, and Roll"?
That would be Bill Haley and the Comets. Am I right?
Oh, I think we mentioned on a previous podcast in 1954, Big Joe Turner.
Oh, that's right.
Was the first to record "Shake, Rattle, and Roll."
That's right.
A copy of the 45 can now sell for $75. That was quickly followed by that version you just mentioned, Bill Haley and his Comets. It was Haley's version that became the bigger hit. But the phrase "shake, rattle, and roll" was first used in a song in 1919.
Oh my goodness! What?
By El Bernard. That's the guy's name, El Bernard. 1919, he had "shake, rattle, and roll" in his lyrics.
Well, Bill Haley had that incredible hit, and I do want to mention that I met Bill Haley's son who came on the Malt Shop Cruise. He looks like Bill Haley. He sounds like Bill Haley. His group plays like the Comets. And you're watching Bill Haley. I had my picture taken with this man. He's a wonderful man. Bill Haley's son. Yeah.
In 1954, Decca Records released the 10-inch album "Shake, Rattle, and Roll" by Bill Haley and his Comets, and that can sell for $500 today.
There you go. I met the Comets also, where they came to LOB.
Yes, I remember that.
And met them. Wonderful man. The original drummer, original bass player. And we know that, of course, they were in several movies and a very iconic band.
Who sold 1 million copies in 1966 of the hit "Tell It Like It Is"?
Aaron Neville.
Very good. Boy, I can't stump him today.
Well,
Derry is on fire.
On fire. I don't know what you were taking for a shot of something today, but take another one.
You know what I had? I had a couple eggs and some toast and some home fries just before I came in here. Maybe that's what it is.
With 4 platinum albums to his name, Aaron Neville is certainly the most famous of the Neville brothers,
right,
who were such a big part of the music that came out of New Orleans.
That's right.
In 66, Aaron Neville sold 1 million copies with "Tell It Like It Is." A copy of that 45 can sell for $25. A year later, Parlow Records released the album "Tell It Like It Is" by Aaron Neville. Today, a copy can get you $500. I'm telling you like it is.
And I just want to say to the audience, this podcast is being broadcast around the time of the New Orleans tragedy. And if you haven't been to New Orleans, it is a fantastic city. And to take that street and turn it into that mayhem is the most unthinkable thing. But I recommend going to New Orleans. And some of the artists that you even hear today are still appearing down there. And you can go see them sometimes in a small club.
Yep. What makes Cheap Thrills by Big Brother and the Holding Company a big collectible today, besides having Janis Joplin as a member?
Boy, no clue.
It was the Monterey Pop Festival that put Big Brother and the Holding Company on the road to stardom. Their Cheap Thrills album, their last with Janis Joplin as a member, originally was to feature the group naked in bed on the cover.
Whoa.
But the record company, we object. Instead, the cover was drawn by artist Robert Crumb. Do you know what Robert Crumb is famous for?
I do not.
Mr. Dino?
I've seen his comics for years.
Yes, and the famous logo is what? It's Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking.
Yeah, with his thumb up. Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
There you go. Well, Dino can come
Mr.
through with the hard
Natural.
ones.
And it's because of his artwork on the cover that makes that album worth up to $500 today.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So let's see. Here we go with the Elvis trivia.
Yeah, I love Elvis.
You're on a roll, Derry. So
Yeah, well, if it's Elvis, I think I got a 50-50 chance.
name the 3 Elvis movies with co-star Shelley Fabares, and which one produced the most valuable soundtrack album?
I'm going to go Speedway. That's as far as I can go with Shelley Fabares. I know he had a bunch of them with her. Clam Bake.
Yeah.
Oh, I got Clam Bake right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to try Follow That Dream.
No.
What?
Shelley Fabares co-starred with Elvis in 3 movies. That would be Girl Happy,
Yes.
Spin Out, and Clam Bake.
Well, that's why I said Speedway, Spin Out. Yeah, so I don't get any credit for that, Alex.
No,
but
none.
at least it was a car movie.
Okay.
And I think that Shelley, I think they had quite an affair. He had an affair with most of
No,
his
I don't think
co-stars.
he did with Shelley Fabares.
You don't think so?
No, I have a friend who knows it quite well, so I'm going to ask that. Say, Derry,
I thought she was one of the, but by the way, there were, like, for example, Juliet Prowse in G.I. Blues, who I saw in person. She did not have a fling with him. And then I think there was Mary Tyler Moore in that, where he plays a priest or something. I forget what he does, a doctor or something. She's a nun. I don't forget what it is.
Okay. Well, anyway, a copy of Girl Happy, worth up to $150. Copy of Spin Out, up to $50. And the soundtrack album for Clam Bake can sell for $300 today.
And I hope I did say at one podcast when you mentioned Shelley Fabares, if you were in any high school when she did Johnny Angel and your name was Johnny, no matter how ugly you were, no matter how bad an athlete you were, to have that song named after you, you would actually be able to date girls in high school because of that freaking song.
Well, okay. Okay, Derry.
It was just unfair. That Barbie's Girl, okay?
We mentioned the value of the Del Shannon album, Runaway,
Oh, love Del Shannon.
on a previous podcast, but we have an update.
Yeah.
One of the biggest and best-known hits of the early rock and roll era is Runaway. The single hit #1 on Billboard in the spring of '61. It can now sell for $30. We said before, a mono copy of the Runaway album is worth up to $500. A stereo copy is up to $1,000. But now we have found there are copies where the A-side is mono and the B-side is stereo.
No way.
And that version can get you $1,500 today.
Oh, my goodness. And what song is that?
Runaway.
Oh, Runaway. Okay, yeah. Which, of course, was
Okay.
number 1 in '61.
More
and
coffee
by the way,
for Mr. Rundlett, please.
Yeah, well, how about this? Runaway has several times been voted the #1 rock and roll song on XM's, vote for your top 100 this, top 100 that. And Runaway is very often in the top 3, top 5, and a few times has been voted #1. It's a fantastic song.
Yes. Now, we like to remember that jazz can be very, very collectible. And I've had a lot of people over the years contact me wanting to know the value of their jazz records.
Okay.
Many say that Bill Evans was the greatest jazz pianist of all time. In 1958, Evans became part of the Miles Davis Sextet and the album Kind of Blue, which is the all-time best-selling jazz album. In 1961, Bill Evans recorded the album Waltz for Debbie. Evans gained 31 Grammy nominations before his death. The album, Waltz for Debbie, released on Riverside Records in 1961, worth up to $500 in stereo and $1,500 in mono. Now, before we get to that Ghost on the Jan and Dean album, before we do that, we're going to tell you how you can get free record appraisals from me. Please limit your list to 3 records. Send it to mightyjohn1971@gmail. And put the name of the recording artist, the name of the title, and the record label. And we will respond either on the podcast. If not, we will still send you the record appraisal absolutely free. So
there
want
you
to hear
go.
from you. Now, do you have some more albums or?
I do. I have an album. Before that, I want to mention the sponsor of our show, which happens to be my TV show, the Derry Rundlett Show, and the Rundlett and Baldacci Report, which is on YouTube. I recommend watching George Mitchell, Senator George Mitchell, our interview with him, former majority leader and the man who brought peace to Ireland. But my record today, Mighty John, is a Beatle record.
Oh, boy.
Because I seem to have good luck with the Elvis, so I got this unbelievable fat Capital Revolver, my Ellsworth T. Rundlett III Senior Center, Bowdoin College. That means that I bought it in the year which it came out. And this has Taxman, Eleanor Rigby, Yellow Submarine. Oh, my God. So, Mighty, what do you think this Beatle record is worth, my friend?
Well, it's kind of like you in bad shape, but... And you foolishly stuck your name on the record.
Oh, you mean that's not good?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not good. But it's in what we call fair condition.
Okay, yeah.
It's in stereo.
Yeah.
Stereo copy in mint condition would be up to about $150.
Yes.
Mono copy would have been up to around $300 to $400.
But this is fair, so it's what, $50?
A good day. Yeah, all depends on who you're dealing with.
It's better than the last one I gave you, which was a counterfeit or something. I forget what it was.
All righty. Now, listen, Dave from Charleston, West Virginia, wants to know, and Dino, you might know this, who did the album These Crowded Streets in 1998? These Crowded Streets. Dave something band.
That would be the Dave Matthews Band.
Very good, Dino.
Oh, Dad, Dino, you're unbelievable, really. This is a three-way show going on here, Dave, this guy.
All right, the album These Crowded Streets by the Dave Matthews Band, released in 1998 on BMG Records, 2-disc set worth up to $300. So why would it be worth $300 from 1998?
Yeah, it's strange, yeah.
Because in 1998, mostly everybody was buying CDs.
That's
They
right.
should have bought the vinyl.
There you go.
The album, Meet the Beatles. What do you think it's worth, Derry?
That's my favorite, one of my favorites. Actually, Revolver was. But I'd say it's going to be worth $50, $100.
Well, a stereo copy is up to $350.
Oh, stereo, okay.
A mono copy up to $700.
So the monos are worth more. Isn't that something? Because we all went nuts when stereo came out. We couldn't believe it. One sound's coming from one ear, the other one, the other.
Yeah, mono is what you want to look for in that album.
Isn't that amazing, for folks? It'll be so counterintuitive, Mighty.
Well, this is a very important album to me because if it hadn't been for this album, I wouldn't be doing this today, appraising records.
No way. Why?
I was in Stephen King's office doing some research for him on a book, and he was playing music, blasting his stereo, records all over the floor, and he rolled over one in his big chair and broke it, and that record was Meet the Beatles.
What a great story.
And I said to him, you just broke a $100 record. And he said, really, why? And I said, well, I explained to him. And he says, most people have no idea about the value of their records. And he said to me, well, why don't you tell them?
Oh, my goodness, Mighty, I tell you something. We've been doing this show, 15 episodes, and I repeat myself a lot, but your stories, that's one of the best Stephen King stories I've ever heard. And folks, I know for a fact that Mighty is very close to Stephen King, who is a wonderful man, by the way, folks. He is just a wonderful, wonderful person.
Can you name some hits by the Rolling Stones? Because Dave here wants to know the value of one of them.
Single hits, oh my God, you do Satisfaction, Get Off My Cloud, Time Is On My Side, Brown Sugar, oh my God, the list it goes on and on for those guys.
Well, when I first met you, Derry, I said to myself, Here comes my 19th nervous breakdown.
That is good. So, by the way, folks, I mentioned my TV show. One of my goals is to interview Mick Jagger.
All right, Nervous Breakdown, 19th Nervous Breakdown, released on London Records, $45 worth maybe $15, but the picture sleeve worth up to $50.
Oh.
How can Jan and Dean be pictured on the cover of an album with Dean when the picture for the album was taken after Jan's death?
Oh, boy. As I said, folks, at the beginning of the podcast, I'm good friends with Dean Torrance, who's a wonderful man. We both went to the same Army camp, Fort Ord in California, not at the same time. I would have no clue what that would be.
You know what Army camp I went to?
What?
Fort Leonard Wood.
Oh, my God, mighty. Remember we joined the reserve unit at the same time. I went to Monterey, California. Only two of us went to California. And I remember they told us the worst place to go is Fort Leonard Wood. Next would be Fort Polk, Louisiana. Leonard Wood was, oh, my God. And they go, Rundlett, you're going to Monterey, California. And I went, down in Monterey. As it turned out, it was no better than any other place.
Well, you tell Dean, Save for a Rainy Day is among Jan and Dean's most sought-after albums. The album was recorded by Dean a year after Jan's horrendous auto accident and contains no hits. It is actually Jan's brother pictured with Dean on the cover, but shot in such a way as to make everyone think it was Jan.
And it's called?
Save for a Rainy Day.
Save for a Rainy Day. I'm going to write it when I get home.
Released on J&D Records, Jan and Dean.
Yep.
The album worth up to $500. Even rarer would be an original copy on Columbia Records, and that could get you $2,000 today.
Okay.
All righty. Now remember, you can find the values for all your records at moneymusic.com. And if you email me at mightyjohn1971@gmail.com, we will send you the values for every Elvis and every Beatles record free. No purchase necessary. Over 2,000 Elvis and Beatle records are on the list. Just state in your email that you heard the podcast. And keep sending in your list for free appraisals. My email, always posted on the homepage at moneymusic.com.
Go, Mighty John, go!